Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday. It is March 19th. We are almost there, almost at our final Friday for our first week of digital learning. Not quite there yet, but we're going to stick through today. I just wanted to give you some information regarding social studies today. So last night you needed to do the document F questions. I did post an answer key for that. You can check that on the stream this morning. And then you're going to do a document F analysis. I'm probably going to post that answer key a little bit earlier than normal, just because I want to give you extra time to get started on this DBQ pre-writing model. So you will see that I posted these for the assignments due tomorrow morning. And the first one I posted is an actual model. So I filled it out as if I were the student. Okay. So this is what my copy looks like. And you can see it's completed. I posted this as a material for all of you on Classroom. And then this is what your copy is going to look like. Let's just give it a second. My Chromebook is really struggling through these past few days because I'm recording so many videos. Okay. So this is what your worksheet will look like. I'm going to start reading through it while it loads the pictures. So it says, now that we've analyzed each document, review all the evidence. Next, decide whether you will support that Alexander is great or not. Double-click on the bucket to open it up as a drawing. Then add a text box to type your choice in the bucket. So in my document, you saw that I just, as a model, might not actually be my opinion, but as a model, I said that Alexander was actually great. Okay, you are making the choice which side you want to support. Remember, there is not a right or wrong answer. So I just wanted to show you how to do this. So it says double click on the bucket. So I literally am going to click on it once and you'll see it kind of highlights around it. And now I'm going to double click on it, or I could just go down here and click edit. I like to double click. And it's going to open up in a drawing like this. Okay, now I basically want to add a text box into this drawing. I don't want to delete the drawing. So up here, if you'll see, it's a T in a little box. This is text box. Now I'm going to click on that. And then what you do is you bring it down here and you actually just draw the text box. And there it is. And then you would type either great or not great. Okay, if you want to, make the font bigger, that's up here. You can center it, but I'm not really concerned about what it looks like. What's important is getting your pre-writing done. This is really going to help you outline your essay, which is what we are starting in social studies tomorrow. Okay, now this is actually your copy, so I'm just going to get rid of this. So I just deleted that by clicking on it and pressing the backspace, but you can also go back with our back arrow. When you're finished, you're going to click Save and Close. It will actually appear the way that you saved it here. Okay? All right, let's keep reading. Then it says, by looking at all the evidence, we can split the documents into 3 main categories. This should help you choose your 3 buckets, which are actually the 3 reasons or prongs supporting your claim, because basically we are creating our thesis statements now. Remember, a thesis statement is a claim plus supporting reasons. We've been doing 3-pronged thesis statements or chicken foots. So we have 3 prongs. Those are our 3 reasons to support our claim. Your claim is simple because your claim is either going to be Alexander was great or Alexander was not great. Okay, so I actually split the documents into 3 categories. I feel like we can really figure out our opinion on his military skills and tactics, his character traits, and also his legacy or whatever achievements he left behind. So I'm not telling you to name your buckets these things. I know it seems like that because it says bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3, but this is what I am using to help you name your own bucket. So for bucket 1, which is going to be down here, I want you, hi Harley. Harley says hi everyone. I want you to name your bucket based on his military skills and tactics. So what that means is if you are claiming that Alexander is great, let me just switch back to my model here. Okay, I decided he was great because I think he was a military genius. Okay, Then I needed to say, okay, which documents really gave me strong evidence to support that he was a military genius? And I looked at document A, document B, and document C. Well, let's go back to yours. You might be saying that Alexander was not great. So you want to think about that in terms of military skills and tactics first. Okay, we could argue, according to our analysis sheets, that as a military leader, he was a tyrant. He was really hungry for conquering. He was conquering some places for conquering's sake. There was actually a document in which we said that about. There was no reason for him to attack certain places, but he did it anyway. Many times he caused unnecessary bloodshed. There was a document where we saw him as a military leader execute people, and he told everyone to do it with joy. Okay? So you could say here, to support his military skills and tactics, if we're saying not great, he was a bloodthirsty conqueror. Okay, just to give you an example. So these categories are really meant to help you narrow down what you are naming your buckets. All right, so let's go back to my model one more time and look at how I did that. Again, this is posted on Classroom. But for character traits, I thought he was an inspired leader. So I focused on leadership. I think you have to have strong leadership to be a character. To be great. So I said that he was an inspiring leader. He had a way of inspiring others to do what he wanted, and I found evidence of that in document A, B, and D. And then in terms of his legacy or lasting achievement, I think the biggest thing that he left behind was the Greek culture. And because of him, because he conquered so much land, he really had the ability to spread this Greek culture to other places. All right? So this is prong 1 or reason 1, prong 2 or reason 2, prong 3 or reason 3. These are my 3 buckets. Let's see how that translates to a thesis statement. Here's my thesis. I underlined my claim and then I color-coded my prong. You do not have to do this. I just thought it was a nice visual representation of how I crafted the thesis statement. Alexander was great because he was a military genius, an inspiring leader, and he spread Greek culture to other lands. Okay? And then again, down here was just my little key as to why I underlined a part and why I color-coded the rest. Okay, let's go back to yours. Now double click on each bucket and label with supporting reason followed by the documents that support each reason. So here you're going to come up with your prong and then you're just going to list the documents that you feel support that reason. When we write our DBQ, very similar to how we've been doing our analysis essays in ELA, you're going to need 2 pieces of evidence for each support. So make sure in each bucket you have at least 2 documents listed, or if you're focusing on one document, you need to be able to pull multiple pieces of evidence from it. Okay? You can list 3. That doesn't mean you necessarily need to use 3 pieces of evidence in your essay, but of course, you are allowed to use more than 2 reasons or 2 pieces of evidence. All right, and just a reminder, let's do this one more time. So here, I'm going to double click on my bucket. That's going to open up the drawing. I'm going to click on my text box. I add a text box in here. Okay, forgive me for typing slow. I'm typing with one hand here. So I'll say blood, thirsty, conqueror. Okay, and then maybe I've seen that in, forgive me, I'm just listing some documents here, B and D. Okay, now when you click save and close, you will see that it saves onto your bucket. Again, I came up with this by thinking about, okay, what was his military skills and tactics? What did that show me about Alexander being great or not great? Here I give you an example of supporting he was not great. All right, your last step when you're done with your 3 buckets is to type your final thesis statement. So remember, your claim is going to either be Alexander was great because, or Alexander was not great because. So the start of this one would be Alexander was not great because he was a bloodthirsty conqueror, comma. Then I would move on to my bucket here, and lastly my bucket here. Okay, this is what is due by 8:30 tomorrow so that we can start outlining our essays tomorrow during class time, and then on Monday, you guessed it, we will be drafting. Okay. Again, if you have any questions about this, let me just delete this since This is the copy you're figuring out today. If you have any questions, I will be available today in Google Hangouts between 9 and 3:30. I do try and let you know if I'm not by the computer for a break, if I'm having lunch or walking my pup. And that's that. So please look for this under the Social Studies tab of Google Classroom today. Thanks, everyone.